Are live. This is WWM Saturday post WrestleMania edition, and we're going to talk about everything that went down during WrestleMania, everything that is going on with Endeavor, all of that fun stuff. So let's just jump right into it. WrestleMania Night 1. That was a heck of a show. It really was. And to cap it off with the Usos and Sammy and Kevin, great way to finish it out, in my opinion. The story was there, the match was there. It was amazing stuff. Um, a little bit of a little bit more on night one. Match of the night for me had to be Rhea and Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championships. That was insane. Um, like those two going at it. All the false finishes in that match was freaking insane. What's going on, Holly?
Not much. How are you?
Tired.
I hear you. I got up not long ago. I'm tired from working so much and everything with my two jobs. So it's like, oh, today was the day I got some sleep.
Right. I've been exhausted doing everything from my job and also doing everything for the podcast. Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, my schedule is just crazy because my full-time job, I work Sunday mornings, 5 a.m. to noon. Monday through Friday, I'm 12 to 7 p.m. And then my part-time job, I'm 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Mm.
So it's like, I work that 2-3 nights a week. So it's like, ugh.
Dang, you're just working. You just working.
Hell yeah. I got to do what I got to do.
Right. Well, let's talk about WrestleMania Night 1. What was your opinion of the entire show?
It was really good. I'll be honest. I was so tired though because I had worked last Friday night at my part-time job, so I didn't get off till 6 a.m. and I'd worked both jobs. And then I came to my mother-in-law's and did some stuff, cooked, and I ended up falling asleep in the middle of the Rhea Flair match. So I didn't get to finish watching that, and I didn't see the Usos match. But everything else was freaking amazing. It was really good matches. I think overall this WrestleMania was actually the most entertaining WrestleMania I've seen in the past few years.
Yeah, I will say that too. I mean, this WrestleMania was decent. The main event, Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, was really cool too. I actually enjoyed that match.
Yeah, my husband, because we had a couple friends of ours come over to watch it, and they even said, "Holly, you missed a great match." Because I woke up right when they had won the tag titles and stuff. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I know Ric Flair said on his podcast this past week that Rhea and Charlotte should have main evented. I disagree because there was no real story there for
Right.
Rhea and Charlotte to main
They
event.
didn't need that main event. Charlotte's been in the main event before. She's familiar with this. It was somebody that really needed more of a focus of why they needed that main event more than anything.
I understand female wrestling, but how many times does a female have to be in the main event of a pay-per-view now? That's starting to get a little boring.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
That's my.
We're just talking about WrestleMania. What'd you think of it?
Had a tag team match and main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing. It's always been a championship.
So we're just talking about WrestleMania, Joe. So what's your opinion of WrestleMania Night 1?
Who, me?
No.
Night 1?
Oh.
Yeah, Night 1.
Night 1 was great.
Night 2 was horrible.
I mean, honestly, I think both nights were great. I'm about to train, so I'll make this real quick. Sorry, Mike. It's kind of last-minute training, but no, both Manias were great. Even though Cody lost and it was a big letdown, I think him and Roman put out probably one of the classic, hands down.
Yeah, that match
one of the best WrestleMania.
And Cody proved he can beat him.
Yeah, Cody did prove he can beat him. But now let's talk about.
I'll say something. Leave real quick. Sorry, Mike. Don't mean to interrupt you. But the thing about Cody, one thing I want to say is, from a worker's perspective, Cody really showed that Roman, because a lot of people were bashing Roman a lot, saying he can't work, he can't do this, blah blah blah. It was just basically squash matches for him. But Cody put it in there and let him work quite a bit. And not only that, Roman let Cody work. And I think, honestly, I thinking about it now, I kind of like the finish. I hated that it was at WrestleMania. I wish it was at another pay-per-view like Elimination Chamber or something. But yeah, it's probably one of the classic matches we're going to see in a long time. But I figured I'd come on here and say a quick word, say hi to everybody, and I got to jump off here because I got to go get ready and jump in this ring and get to training.
All right, hey, be careful, man, and don't forget, I'm coming to see you guys not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
All right, brother, you take it easy.
All right, have a good one, bro.
See you.
Well, that was Joe. He is from TCW Wrestling, and that's where I'm going to be going next weekend.
Awesome.
Hey, that's what I'm gonna say something real quick.
My husband said, can he say something? He's a big wrestling fan. He knows, like...
Dude, let him on. If he wants to be on, let him on.
Introduce him. That's Mike.
Hey, I'm Mike.
That's Mike, too.
As me, as far as WrestleMania, I got it. Like I said, for the most part, yeah, one of the best WrestleManias in a while. And Holly knows it like I know it. For the last 3 years, night one, awesome all around the boards. For me, 3 years in a row, night two, garbage.
I will say that. Night two was kind of lackluster.
Because as much as I love Edge, Balor should have won. As much as I love Belair, Oscar should have won because of her not winning Mania Sunday, she's now 0-5 and now wants to leave WWE. I don't blame her.
Yeah, I did see the tweet she put out about wanting to leave WWE, but then she then she added to that tweet and was like, maybe I should just cause chaos on Raw and SmackDown. So we'll see what happens with that.
They're unhappy. Drew McIntyre's unhappy. He's probably about to go to AEW.
Well, Drew McIntyre's contract's up in a month, so and there's a chance he may not renew.
Mm-hmm.
See, and then as far as WWE. Now, we all know the elephant in the room. The old man, Vincent.
Yeah.
My personal opinion about Vince is this. One, he comes back fully in charge. One, I'm done. Two, everybody who said they wants to leave if he returns fully, I hope they all do. And
they probably will if he comes back fully in charge of creative. Now, this brings me into the next subject, Endeavor. What does this merger with UFC and WWE hold? Like, what's going to happen? Is Vince going to be in charge of creative, or will they keep Triple H at the helm of it? That's the big question.
I've heard it's supposed to be Triple H in charge.
See, I look like this.
They're still going to have Vince part of something.
I look like this, and maybe you'll agree. Holly somewhat agrees with me, but if you look at WWE the last 20 years, 15 years, all around the boards, they have been 60-40.
Yeah.
60% bad, 40% good.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at the summer. Vince you let Strowman, Wyatt, Samoa, you let all of that talent go.
Yeah.
And then the other issue I had with Vince is like with Samoa Joe and, guys like him, AJ, Bobby Roode. Notice Vince had all of them way before they got big.
Yeah.
And now he wants them because they're now megastars. Now let's get to Strowman, for example. We all know when the summer he got fired, he was one of the highest paid guys in the company, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, but my opinion is this. If you're that big and I am paying you that much a year, you're my world champion for 365.
Right. Right.
That he can do something. He's big and
right. And then the other thing is like with WWE and like Roman Reigns, like for example, Roman Reigns. I watched the whole feud between him and Strowman, him Lesnar.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends, I consider my brother, he does the actual wrestling, not just what we see every week, but the real wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is this. Yes, can guys like he would say, can guys improve? Yes. But there ain't no way in hell y'all go sit there and tell me now all of a sudden Roman can dog walk Lesnar or Strowman. No.
But here's the thing. It's all in marketability. Could they market Braun Strowman as champion? Yes, they could. But herein lies the problem with Braun Strowman being champion. Anytime a guy of that size, okay, has held the championship, it's been for a short time. Look at Kevin Nash, okay? He held it for a very short time, and people didn't buy into him being the heavyweight champion in WWE.
But
That's the reason why.
His first reign lasted a year.
It lasted a year, but if you look at that year for the entire company. The entire company. It was the worst year on record for the WWE.
Yeah. I mean, you fought what? Sid twice, Starr a few times, Brett a few times.
Yeah. That entire year that he was champion, which I think was what, 95? Was it 95?
It was right before he went to WCW, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, so it had to have been 95.
This was like 90.
No, it was
94.
It was 95. It was 95 because he beat Bob Backlund for it. It was 95.
That is Bob Backlund was in WCW because I seen him at Nitro.
Yeah, Bob Backlund's been everywhere. But I think Kevin Nash won the World Wrestling Federation title off of no, it was 94. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, it was 94.
I knew it was one of those two.
That's when everything was coming here.
Yeah. But if you look at that entire year, it was not the best time in WWE. A lot of that could have been attributed to the fact of WCW just starting up and all that stuff. So, I don't know. To me, I think what they did at WrestleMania was good for what they needed to accomplish, having Roman beat Cody to continue that story. And I said it before the match even started to my old podcast partner. I said, what's Cody done to make him a credible threat to Roman Reigns, a guy who has not been beaten in 3 years? Turn back everyone that has stepped up against him. What credible threat is Cody to Roman Reigns, a guy who's been champion for 3 years, untouched?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to beat someone like a Brock Lesnar. That's why this thing between him and Lesnar is perfect. He needs to get this win over Lesnar to become a credible threat to Roman's championship.
But see, there's a problem. For me, there's a problem with that. And my thing is this. You know, I in this sense, I agree with my brother. But guys like Cody, Rollins, Balor, AJ, realistically, I mean, like not just ability-wise, but it's size and power. There's no way none of those guys can beat a guy like Lesnar.
No, not in a real fight. In a real fight, Brock Lesnar is whooping ass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just being 100% for real. In a real fight, Brock Lesnar can take half the freaking roster if he really wanted to.
You know who Jacob Fatu is, right?
Yeah.
His cousin? This is my personal opinion. When it comes to the Samoan Dynasty, bloodline, whatever you want to call them, I believe, because we all know they've all been fighting each other for years growing up. All the cousins have fought each other a few times throughout their lives.
Right.
My thing is this: there's two members in that family that Roman's going. That I'll go with his real name, Joseph, is going to have a problem with. Dwayne and Jacob.
Yeah.
And then
I will totally agree with that.
And then I just seen something, I guess, that Jacob's finna come to WWE soon and join the bloodline. Because it's supposedly, from what I read, that I guess Jacob is said back doing a Royal Rumble when all that happened with Sammy and the Uso boy, that somebody from the bloodline is no longer a bloodline member.
Yeah.
My question is, and we all know what happened on SmackDown last night. So the question is, are they going to take the Usos out of the bloodline and have the bloodline with Roman, Solo, and Jacob?
They very well could. But also what's been pitched around creative, and this has been talked about at length with creative from what I've read and what I've been told, that they're saying that Solo might be the one to break up the bloodline.
Hey, we don't know what's going to really happen because WWE wants to throw those curveballs, but
Okay, let me ask
we
you
just
this.
got to wait on it.
Let me ask you this question. I don't want to work this. Yeah, all right. Now I know the question now. So now it has.
Okay. Well, I guess he's froze for a second, so we'll wait for him to come back. But anyways, back to what I was saying. This whole thing with, all right.
And then my thing is, like I said, you call yourself the money maker. Dwayne make more money than you than in an hour than you do in a week.
Yeah.
How are you the head of the table when? I'm sorry, you put Dwayne in his prime versus Roman in his prime. I still can't see Roman beating him.
No,
for me.
no. And I mean, Roman's nowhere near what The Rock is.
No.
Bottom line. If they do Rock versus Roman, it won't be for the title. It will be for control of the bloodline. I guarantee it. Now, again, going back to what I was saying, I think this feud with Cody is going to be his kind of journey through getting back to that Universal Championship. And I could see it probably happening at SummerSlam or Survivor Series. If it was me, I would have it be at Survivor Series.
Yeah. Kind of prolong it out because we already know Roman's taking time off for the summer, because he's already not going to be at Backlash.
And that's my problem.
And what I've been reading is Roman's not even going to be at Money in the Bank, but Cody is. So I'm thinking Cody's going to be winning Money in the Bank, and he's going to cash in on Roman.
Yeah, because supposedly, according to what I've heard, Roman's going to take off for a good portion of the year.
Yep.
He's supposed
fans because the belt was always supposed to be defended every 30 days. Like when I was up and stuff. Nobody wants to see a part-time champion like what Lesnar was doing. Things like they want to see. They want that card.
And honestly, it's kind of going back to the old territory days. Back in the old territory days, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion would normally just travel around to different territories, right? And most of the time, he wouldn't even come to your territory until like 2 years after the fact.
Yep.
That's why in Memphis, we never got Jerry Lawler versus Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight title. Because Ric Flair would not make that trip to Memphis. And it's not because he didn't want to. It's because at the time, the NWA title was so, like, held in close regard to, like, the committee or whatever. Like, they would send to all the different territories but Memphis. So that's kind of what they're trying to go for. To make the title seem like it's bigger than it actually is. To not give you a championship match every month. To build up a championship match.
Yep.
Do you watch all the wrestling companies, right?
You watch all the wrestling shows and companies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is before I saw Wednesday. This is before I watched Dynamite Wednesday when Jay White went to sign with AEW.
Right.
Right before WrestleMania.
Right.
But I seen something on YouTube like the week of WrestleMania. The smart thing, if they would have continued the conversation between WWE and Jay White to sign him. And the podcast that I saw, I think they should have, if Jay White would have signed, this is what they should have did.
Cody was Bullet Club.
Roman barely keeps the title of Mania. Then here comes the bloodline, they're attacking. And then you hear the OC music with Gallows and Anderson. But you just don't see Gallows and Anderson. You see Gallows, Anderson, and Jay White. And then now this is how I just would have did it. Like I said, that's how you end night 2 of Mania. Night 1, the night after Mania, that Monday Night Raw, I would have did it like this. Here comes Roman, Heyman, Solo.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he gets to talking, that's when you hear the OC music hit. They all come out, and then AJ pops up on the screen. Now, I would have did this. I would have had this feud go all the way to Survivor Series, but it just would have been the Bloodline versus OC.
Yeah. And honestly, what I would have done just a little bit differently than that, I wouldn't have had Jay White debut at WrestleMania. And here's why. The casual fans don't know who the hell Jay White even is. Guys like you and me, we know who Jay White is. A lot of casual fans that just watch AWE have no idea who Jay White is.
Exactly.
What I would do, I would wait. Debut Jay White, if this was going to happen, debut Jay White on the Raw after WrestleMania, but I would not have his first feud be against Roman. He needs to be a credible challenger, like I said. His first feud, AJ Styles.
No.
Yes.
Hear
No.
me out. Hear me out. For control of the OC, AJ loses to Jay White. Jay White becomes the leader of the OC. This is where you begin the Bloodline versus OC feud going into Survivor Series. And let me explain. This sets up AJ to take time off for a little bit to rehab a little bit more from his injuries. He comes back and he goes after Jay White again, but this time it's at the Royal Rumble. And he costs Jay White the Royal Rumble, and then at WrestleMania we get AJ Styles versus Jay White, the rematch.
I can live with, if that would have happened. I can live with that. I definitely can live with that.
And then you have the story of what side is the OC going to be on. You know what I'm saying? It works.
Oh, yeah, because Jay White's a great wrestler. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know much about New Japan. I've only got to see him twice and everything because they were actually last year at this time, they were out here in the Chicago area for a New Japan show. I went because I was like, all right, I want to learn about New Japan. And my husband and his cousin. So, tickets had gone on sale right around Valentine's Day. I bought them. I even took my daughter.
Right.
Because she likes to watch wrestling. She likes Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair. So she never got to see it, live. She's seen the New Japan and then when they had Forbidden Door.
Right.
And, it was actually really awesome to see the New Japan up front, like how they do everything. They even came right in front of us fighting with Juice Robinson. I forget who he was wrestling at the time. They walked right past us and everything, and it was amazing.
Yeah. For me, I like New Japan, but it's just their stories are so freaking long. It's hard for me to really get invested into anything because they do that, long storytelling, and it's just like, okay, we get the point. Can we just get to the finish, please?
Right.
But anyways, what do you think of this Endeavor deal? What do you think it means for the company?
It could actually be a lot of things. There's so many possibilities of what we could see. Like, could we see Roman in an octagon match, wrestling in the octagon ring and he lose that title? There's already been pictures of him showing he's got the UFC title. What was his name? Conor McGregor has already showed himself on Twitter, holding the WWE title and stuff like that. It's like, he'd be in a ring, are we going to see like a crossover?
There's two guys in UFC.
Anything is possible. God's honest truth. And I really hope that it could actually help WWE, be bigger than what they are.
There's two guys in UFC that Roman's going to have a problem with. McGregor, and the current champion, Bones Jones, period.
Right. And honestly, here's my take on this whole thing. Now, I've looked this up. What's up, Nick? How you doing, bro? My take on this is this. I've looked at the numbers. Endeavor is going to control 51% stake in the company.
Yep.
Okay. WWE is going to have the other 49%. Now, it's supposed to be, from what I've read from their press release, it's supposed to be a separate company.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm hearing it's going to be part of the Endeavor umbrella. So it's going to be different divisions, kind of like how Disney has different divisions.
Right.
It's going to be like that, according to what I'm reading. Now, this is, of course, what I'm reading secondhand. I don't know the exact detail. Now, Vince is in charge. He's not really in charge. He's the executive chairman of the company that's going to be formed with Endeavor. I don't think that dramatically is going to affect the WWE.
I hope not, because I know they said that Triple H was still going to be in charge of the creative writing. You know, that's why he came out last night and announced they're going to be doing the draft in a few weeks. You know,
which, by the way, the draft thing is a really cool thing because it kind of freshens up the rosters.
Right.
And also, we're going to do a draft starting in June. We're going to have 10 people on here. You can be on if you want to. And we can pick who we want to be part of our companies.
I got to have Corbin. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Baron Corbin fan, and I really hate how WWE is making him look. You know, and actually that would be an incredible threat to Roman, God's honest truth. A lot of people might disagree. Everybody's entitled to that opinion. He's the last one that gave Roman his last loss.
Well, also another credible threat for Roman could be Jay, because Jay was the first one to actually beat Roman whenever he was part of the Shield. Jay was the one that caused Roman his first real big defeat, so it could be Jay. And let's face it, how it started was Roman versus Jay. Why not have it end that way?
I'll just be glad when we finally do have a new champion, and either they just unify the title, bring a whole new title belt back, or they decide that they want to split up the two titles, you know, one for Raw, one for SmackDown. You know, you never know where Roman's going to pop up.
Which I think is what they're going to end up doing. And if this does go to Survivor Series, like in the booking that I did, I think I sent it to you, of Cody Rhodes becoming champion.
Yes.
Basically, I would have Cody cash in Money in the Bank at Survivor Series, but since he's a Raw talent, he can only challenge for the WWE title.
Right.
That's how you split the belts right there. And then what you do with Roman and the Universal title, okay, he's never beaten Bray Wyatt. He really never beat Jay. So what do? You have a number one contenders gauntlet. You can have it be either one, Bray Wyatt or Jay, that takes the belt off of Roman. And that's what I would do.
Yep.
Because I mean, with Bray, it writes itself. You know, you beat me for you didn't beat me for the Universal title. You pinned Braun Strowman. But now I'm going to take everything that validates you. Which, let's face it, if he didn't have that championship, we wouldn't be talking about Roman Reigns. That championship validates him. So if Bray Wyatt's able to take that championship, all the validation that Roman Reigns has is gone. So that's what I would do. But that's just me. But I'm a fan of long-term storytelling.
See, my thing is like with Bray, and I know you know the WrestleMania I'm about to talk about. When they did that to Bray, when it was him versus Randy Orton, right after like, and I'll just go with that WrestleMania, or at least that night two of WrestleMania. They sat there. So, see, my thing was this. At first, I wasn't liking the Fiend, but then I started liking the Fiend character.
Right.
Like, okay, you're doing something different, kind of like with Kane, but a little bit different, more sadistic. And when they did that to Bray, and Holly can tell you, like when I say I gave up on Bray, like I didn't care if he would have left WWE, went anywhere else. What Vince did to him that night, everything that they were doing with the Fiend, ruined him in one night for me, with one match.
The whole Orton match.
Right, I'm saying that whole match ruined Bray Wyatt for me.
I can see that.
Now, now, yes. Did I like what he did against LA Knight at the Rumble? Yes, I love that. And now it's like I said, you're finally back in the company. You don't have matches on Raw or SmackDown. You only have matches on house shows. And then we finally get to see you in a match at the Rumble. And since then, nothing. They've done nothing with you. Like,
well, he got hurt. He messed up that finger, and then they're saying he has some kind of disease. But I really think it's more of like a mental health break.
I don't know if it's that or if he's just. I don't know what's going on with him. Like, I really don't.
Like, I would love to see him come back and do something, because I am a huge Bray Wyatt fan. He's got incredible talent. It was just like WWE just kind of didn't want to let him shine like he should be able to.
There's a lot of guys that WWE don't let shine.
Yeah, Corbin's one. I mean, he's got the talent. I mean, God's honest truth, I would actually like to see Baron Corbin leave WWE and go to like TNA or something. I know he could do something over there. Karrion Kross, man's
Karrion
got
Kross has
former champion for crying out loud, and look what they're doing with him. They haven't done anything with him.
Then with Karrion Kross, like I said, I was watching him when he was in TNA. He wasn't all that in TNA. I mean, his biggest shoot in TNA was wow. John Morrison. Really?
He could easily. John Morrison's a decent wrestler, but Karrion Kross could easily beat him. It was just, the whole, like, when Karrion Kross was fighting Rey Mysterio not long ago.
That was just stupid. That aggravated me.
Karrion Kross could actually be a threat to Roman.
And he did put the hourglass in front of the bloodline whenever he came back.
Yeah.
And you ain't heard nothing about it since.
There's nothing else that has happened since then. And that was what, SummerSlam or something like that, I think?
Yeah.
It was right before SummerSlam.
And what was that meaning? Like, they just completely left that in the dark.
Well, it's kind of like the whole thing with Bobby and Bray. Where are they going to go with that?
Right. That's why Bobby had issued that open challenge for Mania and nothing happened. That's why he was so mad. They just had him come out, and say that he had won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
And that's the problem whenever it comes to if Vince is in control of creative, that's the problem. There's no rhyme or reason to the story.
That's what still makes me mad is Bobby Lashley never officially lost that title last year at the Elimination Chamber. He was taken out because he was hurt. He was never pinned, nothing. He's still, in my opinion, the WWE champion. He's never gotten a rematch, nothing. They, when he came back from that shoulder injury, quote unquote, wow, they put him for the U.S. title. That's all they did, like revoke him to a mid-card. Bobby Lashley's a star that should be up there. He's a threat to Roman.
Herein lies the question with that, okay? Who are you going to take from that top spot to put Bobby Lashley there? There's only a few top spots in wrestling. Who are you going to take from that top spot to put Bobby there? You're not going to take Brock Lesnar. You're not going to take Seth Rollins. You're not going to take Roman Reigns. So who are you going to replace Bobby with at that top echelon position?
But here's the thing, though. If pretty much Lesnar is on his way out, so if Lesnar yet again is about to leave, then how hard is it? Like I said, if you look at Bobby and Lesnar, and this is the best way I can put it. Not trying to be funny, racist, none of that. Technically, Bobby Lashley is the Black Lesnar.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Everything that Lesnar's done, he's done with the exception of being in the NFL.
Yeah.
High school wrestling did that. College wrestling did that one day. Mixed martial arts, been there, done that. And matter of fact, when it comes to mixed martial arts, A lot of people gonna disagree, but he's better than Lesnar.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, but I don't think Lashley would have lost to he would have lost to I'm sorry, he would have lost to Frank Mir. No. He wouldn't have lost to Frank Mir.
No, that's another thing with that whole Endeavor thing is we could see Lesnar and Lashley in the octagon ring if that ever happens. We don't know.
I don't think Lashley would have lost to Kane. When Kane
No.
whooped Lesnar's ass and left that scar on his face.
My thing on this whole Endeavor deal is it's going to be fairly interesting, but as of right now, there's no dramatic changes to anything creative-wise as far as I've read. But that doesn't mean that in 6 months it won't be.
Right. I mean, it could take. We don't even know if anything might even happen with the draft.
But here's
that's the other thing. We don't know what exactly is going to go on in this draft.
But here's something they can do with this merger now. There's a certain wrestler that used to be in UFC and now they're in WWE.
Yeah.
Individual lost to somebody in UFC, but in that individual they lost to was still in UFC. So are we finally gonna get a rematch in WWE style? Oh, who? The female Miss Rousey.
The Nunez?
Yeah, damn Skippy. I mean, because they showed the clip of that fight. They were showing clips of her fights from UFC all on Facebook. They showed, I don't know who the blonde girl is, but they showed the blonde girl whoop Ronda's ass. They showed Nunez whoop her ass. And as far as Ronda Rousey,
she sucks in WWE. I'm sorry, I'm not a Rousey fan.
What's his name?
Mike.
Hey, Mike, would you agree with this?
What's up? Yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, back to let's talk about now the predictions championship, which is what everyone's been wanting to know about. Who won the predictions championship for the podcast? I did. Yeah, I won it. So there's that.
There we go.
There you go. It's the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Keeps messing up.
Yep.
But anyways, I won my podcast predictions championship. I am the predictions champion, the first predictions champion. You're welcome for that. So the next time I am contracted to defend my digital media championship is SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever wants to enter that tournament, that predictions challenge, can enter it and try to take my title. I don't care. I'll take on all challengers. I don't care. Man, woman, child, dog. I don't care.
You're on.
All right, then. You enter it, and when I beat you, like I beat 8 other people, once again.
Telemundo.
But anyways, this has been a fun podcast. I have to go to work.
All right.
So
yeah.
I will leave y'all with this comment, okay? I don't even know what I was going to say now. See what happens? I had a good comment in my head. Now it's gone. But anyways, thank everyone for being here in the chats. Thank you guys for being on. And we will see you same Maverick time, same Maverick channel.
All right. Later.
Later.